Welcome to the Kindland Report. I'm your host, Leon Bibb. You know, the economics of our society are built on a symbiotic relationship between employees, corporate leaders, and government. When they work together in harmony, communities prosper. The key to this kind of cooperation is a little thing we call kindness. Our guest today has made a career of uniting people to create positive outcomes, leading with kindness. Tony Manna continues to make his local community and the world, indeed, a better place. Tony Manna, welcome to the show. Good to have you here.
Great to be here, Leon.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Tell me, how are things going for you? Okay.
Everything is going great. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet.
You are a kind man, and generally kind people have a kindness story or an event that inspired them to do the things that they do. Would you share your story?
Yeah, I would say one of the kindness, and I'll say great direction for me, came many years ago when I first started my business. Was getting started, was very much struggling. And one of our key clients, customers, pulled our business because they said we were too small.
Yeah.
And I went up to Detroit to try to get some more business, and I was literally living on fumes. I landed a contract up there, a supply contract. And the gentleman said to me, he said, Tony, I'm really looking forward to doing business with you. This was on a Thursday afternoon. And I told him, I said, well, listen, I'm really pleased to be here, but if you could do me a favor, could you advance me some money against the contract? Because I'm sitting there thinking I have to make payroll tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this, Leon. You know what he says to me? He says, Tony, I believe in you. You be here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. I'll have that check for you. A lot of guys would have told me to get lost. I was there, of course, at 6:30 in the morning and got the check, drove down to Cleveland. We were in Warrensville Heights. I deposited the check in my personal checking account so that I could, and I'm handwriting out the net amount of everybody's pay as they get off their shift on Friday out of that checking account. Here's the amazing thing about the story, though. I was very thankful for that because after that, we took off. 15 years later, and my wife comes up, who keeps everything, drives me crazy, but this time it really paid off. Remember those old paper Rolodexes we used to have?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, look what I found in the basement. I said, it figures you'd still have that thing. She goes, I thought you'd be really interested to see who the old names were. So I'm flipping through and I see come up, and this guy's business card comes up. I haven't talked to him in 15 years. I don't even know if the guy's still alive.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to call him. That man changed my life. I call him. He answers the phone. We start, he goes, Tony, how you doing? I said, great.
Number is still the same.
Here's the amazing part about the story. He says, Tony, do you have any idea where I am when you're calling me at this point in time? I assume you're in Michigan where your business was. He goes, Tony, literally, not figuratively, when you're calling me, I am seated at this moment in Calcutta, India, on Mother Teresa's grave on a Catholic mission. I go, Dick, you're sending chills up and down my spine. You're the whole reason that you bailed me out, that everything took off. One person, an act of kindness.
Akron Mayor Don Plasqualik once said that you were single-handedly responsible for bringing Canal Park Stadium and the Rubber Ducks Ball Club to the city of Akron. How do you combine that passion for building and baseball to make this happen?
In 1987, there was a blip in the Akron Beacon Journal, a paragraph that basically said that there was this team in New York or wherever it was, that they were going to look to move the minor league team to either Canton or Akron. I was 26 years old, and I just started dialing until finally the owner of the team says, why do you keep calling? You are bugging the heck out of everybody. I said, well, I want to bring the team to Akron. He says, well, and he used a lot of profanity, and he said, but if you're so interested, meet me at the airport. So I go to the airport holding up his name. He goes, "Oh my God, you really did show up." He thought I would never do it. I end up going with him. They moved the team to Canton, and it opens up in 1989. And shortly thereafter, they had all types of problems, and I went down and proposed to him on my own how I wanted to develop a stadium in Akron. And he said, "I'll do it."
There's a thread of kindness through all of this, what we're talking about. Tell me about that thread of kindness. You must have picked this up early in your life. Where'd you learn this?
A lot came through my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
They were immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
and they just believed in always helping somebody. And that just kind of passed down. And the other thing I've learned is, and this goes in business and everything, Leon, when you're doing it, is try to make sure everybody wins. Like when we did the presentation, even with that stadium,
Mm-hmm.
we had to say, who wins in this? How does the city of Akron win? The community wins. Local businesses win. And of course, baseball fans win.
How do we float this out to other people for them to do the kinds of things that you're doing, or to have that philosophy that you have?
Well, I think like the values Kindland does, I think we have to go out and talk more about this. 95 out of 100 people
Mm-hmm.
are decent people.
Yeah.
And if you just treat them right, they respond in kind.
You and Ohio's U.S. Senator John Husted, are co-chairing the Kindland Corporate Challenge. And what do you want to come out of that?
Stuart and I were just talking a little bit about this. Culture is everything. We need to create an environment that kindness is the culture. They'll say, well, yeah, Tony, in your position or Leon's position, or whatever, it's easy to talk about this. When have communities that are economically burdened and they're literally living paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah.
meal to meal, tough to get that across. I am not sure how to do that so culturally it gets in, but I think what Stuart and his team are doing is the way to get it done. Get in there into the schools, get in there and get that done so it becomes a cultural thing.
You're a member of the Kindland Leadership Council. Tell me about your involvement with that.
Well, I just got on it. I'm actually ready to get on my first meeting on it, but if Stuart asks me, I always do it.
Yeah.
So
It's a good thing.
no question. I mean, the message that gets across is universal and something we should all be doing.
Yeah. Well, Tony Manna, we appreciate you being on the show today, talking about kindness. In many ways, grandmother still lives. She lives through you.
So, Leon, thank you.
Yeah. We've been talking with Tony Manna, talking about how kindness has changed his life. He has that thread of kindness which goes right through, which is what it's all about. I'm Leon Bibb, and that's the Kindland Report for today. We'll see you next time.